What's going on? It's your boy Marcus Q.
It's your boy AV.
And this is the Map Social Presents
Dirty Laundry Podcast.
Man, we got another controversial. Would you end a healthy or good relationship over political views? Like if you found out some stances later or some things came up later and you like, hell no, I can't rock with that. I'm going to let you start on this one, brother.
So on the poll make sure you guys check out our poll on our Instagram. We have this and we have hell yeah, depends, or hell no, basically. I did put definitely not, but I had some more time to think about it, and I would say it depends, right? My feeling on it is when it comes to media, news, there's a lot of information that I feel like doesn't really get shown, and I think it's easy for a person not to know some things or just didn't really do any research about it. So I could understand why a person might vote a certain way sometimes. And it's like, okay, well, let's come to it with facts, not just on some feeling stuff. So I wouldn't end a healthy relationship. I think that's what America's great about. I don't expect my friends or people to think exactly the same way I think. But why I said it depends on like how strong their stances are. If something is like really, really way off on some evil or something like that's really, really hard or hurtful, and they just show no empathy, they don't care about it, then I might be like, yeah, we cool, but I probably won't kick it with you like that as much. So, but I want to end the relationship because I think politics is very manipulative, to be honest. Yeah,
like most things.
Yeah.
I heard you say that's why America's great, so we don't need to make America great again. We can check that off the list. So yeah, I also picked definitely not. The only way, first of all, I think it's very crass and very like unhealthy to continuously talk about politics in a friendship.
Yeah.
I don't want to get lost in that and caught up in that. I think if you have a healthy and good relationship, the only way I would end that friendship is if you constantly coming at me with your political views and judging me for it. That's the only way I would stop being your friend. And if you're doing that, we don't have a healthy or good relationship to begin with.
Yeah.
We've had discussions about our political views, and it'll get a little heated and opinionated, but it's never broken or fucked up our friendship. We'll get right back to the money, right back to the business, right back to the fun.
Same like politics, religion, same thing. Okay, let's say someone's Muslim, Jewish, Christian, Catholic, and they have certain traditions or they were raised a certain way. Maybe they just didn't experience certain things, or the information that you have, maybe they never received, and that's why they think a certain way. You know, as you start to reveal certain information, and mind you, it can go both ways. Don't act like you can't learn something. I think a lot of people think, oh, this is how it is, and that's all there is to it. It's a big world, and you'd be surprised on what stuff you don't know. You're like, oh, I didn't even know that. Interesting. So, like, you got to let people figure things out for themselves and what their priorities are, what matters to them. What matters to you might not matter might not be on the top of my priority list, you know, and you got to respect that. It's like, we can still be cool and have a good time. What matters to you don't have to always matter to me, and vice versa. That makes sense?
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
What's funny to me is that I'll find out with most of my friends I had in the past, in Dallas and recently in Houston, not recently, but Houston and even currently, when it does come up, which is very rarely, I'll find out we are not, don't have the same political views as far as voting parties, like what party we're gonna vote for, but then we start opening up this Pandora's box of beliefs and concerns. But if before that you really look at it, you have the same morals as these people that matter, like being kind, being nice, being there for you, holding you down. And then you start getting off the rails trying to talk about politics all the time. Like, I've only been friends with you for this long, or we've only been cool for this long because of how you treated me as a person. And then you go off the rails when you start discovering things, when you get into political views and you let it rub you the wrong way. You have to be strong enough to understand that we live in America, and it's all about freedom of speech, freedom of choice, being able to have a voice, to vote. You can't get in your feelings about those things. Everything, the money got to keep going, the work got to keep going, the family got to keep going. You get stuck trying to wonder why somebody's view isn't aligned with yours, or getting overly emotional about one little thing. There's so many boxes to check in politics. You know what I mean?
You said something that you said, like, we live in America, right? And I don't know. This is how I feel about certain things. And I might get flack for this. I don't know. But when I watch news, when I watch television, there's a lot of stereotypical stuff that's put out there. And I always talk about this, like the diversity when it comes to the storytelling in certain demographics of folks. But it's a business. You know what I mean? The news, it's all still a business. And I feel like certain stories break for a reason. Certain things are told a certain way. How many times have where, like, for example, let's say a criminal act or something has happened, especially when it comes to black folk for the most part, and they demonize this person, and then 5 years later, however long, more evidence comes, and it's like they didn't say that part of the story. So that's why I kind of don't, when I look at news or when I look at certain media, I really like take a grain of salt with it and like let me do some more research if I'm really that passionate about it. I do feel like especially like with this election year, I would urge people to really do their research and not just trust what certain things have been said about whoever candidate you voting for, and what matters to you and what they really stand for. But the last thing I'll say about it is the person that's going to be there for you, like your friendship, they might not agree with everything that you agree with, but you know when stuff hit the fan, they're going to be there for you. And I think that's what's really important when it comes to friendship. You don't just end that relationship because they think this way versus you. Like, that's kind of like petty.
And I think too, like, when you get into conversations with your friends, it's perfectly fine for them to shut that shit down immediately and be like, yeah, I'm not gonna get into it. I don't want to talk about political views.
Yeah,
that's more of a private thing for me. I'm guilty of this, and I think most people are guilty of this. They don't want to admit, like, media is controlled, but a lot of times it's human nature. I think people have gotten more and more into politics with just media, social media, and the accessibility to be able to see things. It's not just like the news and you cut the TV on back in the day. It's everywhere on your phone. I think people do tend, and I'm very guilty of this, to look more at the person and not actually the political views. I've done my due diligence of a few things to research, comfortable enough to go down there and vote and have a reason, my reasons of voting that are personal. But I think people tend to look more at the person, and media controls that. Like, they gonna give you certain sound bites, plugs, visuals of this person to make you have certain views, and they definitely wrap it up when it's off to the races and it's time to start voting. And a lot of people are not gonna admit that. You'll charge a lot of people and be like, try to ask them why they're not going to be able to give you much homework besides they don't like the person. And I've been guilty of this, and I'm perfectly fine with that. My biggest issue is that I don't want to hear shit you got to say. I don't want to hear no complaints if you don't vote. Like, if you don't vote, then your voice is canceled in this whole scenario. And I would never end a friendship over politics, because I might as well end a friendship over a simple argument then. Because at the end of the day, it's bigger than us, and we haven't even scratched the surface to understanding what goes on in politics and behind the scenes to be throwing away no good, healthy relationship or friendship. That's just my opinion on it.
Do you feel like you know when a person is like, oh, you're accepting somebody for the way they are, right? Do you feel like that's this might be a dumb question, but don't you feel like that's the way to go about a friendship? Like, yeah, you are the way you are. If not, as long as you're not killing nobody and doing something that's really wild, don't you feel like a friendship is, hey, you're the way you are, and at the end of the day, you still my homie. Or
I think
you still
it should
my girl. You still whatever.
Yeah, but I also think it's about how have you been treating me, because it's a relationship or friendship. It's our shit. One thing that I find very interesting, that blows my mind about people, is we'll stay in the craziest relationship or friendship over really horrible things, but we'll cut a motherfucker off over politics and sports overnight. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let a motherfucker say something wrong about your team, or you find out they got a few political views that don't align with yours, and motherfuckers get blocked, cut off quick, but get done dirty a million times over there. Owe you money, cheat on you, say something bad behind your back,
be abusive, do all this stuff.
That's what I find interesting about people.
Around.
Yeah,
that's what I'm. I just find it's hard for me to believe that, okay, I have my upbringing, you have your upbringing, You have your experiences, I have my experiences. Those experiences make you think the way you think. And you probably haven't seen things I've seen, and vice versa. And if you're not interested on why a person is voting a certain way or why a person has this political belief, and you're going to actually hear them out without being aggressive and name calling and all this other stuff, then you got to take a look at yourself in the mirror and be like, what type of person are you? Because if you think all the people around you are supposed to think like you and be like you, you're probably going to get done wrong by some of those folks because they're probably being fake.
Why do you think people are so heavily emotional about politics in general?
Man, I think because I think it's media. I think what we continue to see on social media, what we continue to see in the news, and the people that we're around, also family. I think like, let's say mom, dad, grandparents, there's like almost like an emotional attachment. And if you think differently from them, sometimes they shun you out the household. So it's like, do I want my life to be difficult or want my life to be, or easy? I'm just gonna make it easy and be like, yo, I'm gonna go with this. It's easy to go with a narrative or easy to go with something and not really do research because everybody around you that's how you're raised. And that's fine. It's hard to question things and dig deep. People don't like when you ask questions. And I feel like the most successful people, the people that we actually look up to, the people that we watching on TV and like, they actually question things. They actually put themselves in uncomfortable situations, and that's why they are where they are. So I find it when a person's questioning things and want to have a conversation, I find it very refreshing, and I feel like it's very respectable.
I think there's very few people out there that have enough emotional intelligence to have certain conversations, politics being one of them. I would advise, if you have healthy relationships, just stay away from that as much as you can until you really have an understanding of what you're about to start. Because I think having that discussion, you got to understand there is no resolution in these discussions. It's just views, opinions, and your reasons. And it's okay if yours don't align with your homies. Even I'm interested to see if there's some households out there with different political views of married couples. I'm sure the world is big enough where it exists.
I can't wait till we go on the street. I would love to come across that. And we're not asking for anybody to disclose maybe who they vote for, who they not voting for, whatever the case may be. If they want to freely give that information, great.
And that's interesting that you said that too, because I think human nature is naturally, why do you want to hide it?
Because people, unfortunately, I think
people think they'll be judged, demonized, or looked at.
Yeah, I mean, there has been. I've seen it where people get treated. Oh, everything was all cool. You were the greatest person in the world. You were such a cool person.
Now I found out ABC.
Oh, you like this? I don't rock with you no more. It's like, wait a minute. we was so cool. We vibed out. We got along great. Now because you're not gonna ask me why, or you're not gonna ask that person like, why do you think that way, and have a conversation. That's not cool.
Think about this. This
cool.
is gonna sound maybe ignorant or like maybe a little bit off, or maybe somebody will agree with me. I don't know.
Nobody cares.
Like you said, that's fine. Like media, right? At the end of the day, politics got to keep going. It's a machine. They got to stay oiled and keep going. Somebody got to go up there and do that job.
Yeah.
And like you said, media and television, especially social media and then TikTok and all that shit, and what they choose to show you. I almost equated to like me finding out. Like the reason I equated it to sports, like at the end of the day, you got to keep it all in perspective. I almost equated to like me finding out that you like a singer that I can't stand.
Yeah.
It's really not that different to me, because at the end of the day, you got your reasons and I got my reasons, but it don't really ultimately change the friendship or relationship unless we let it. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny? This friend, first of all, shout out to my niece. I was on the phone with my niece until like 2 a.m, going back and forth. But why? I love my niece because she's rare in the sense of she will have a conversation and she'll debate, but it'll be like, I want to hear what you got to say, and this is my response to it. So shout out to my niece, love you. To have someone telling you what you want to hear, when I think there's a thin line about that. Like, oh, I'm gonna say what you want, what I think you want to hear, so we can have a good friendship. And they're not really listening to you. They're just seeing your mannerisms, and they're like, oh yeah, I agree. I said the same thing. I'm like, you really don't even have no background in this, and you just agreeing because you want to have friends. I'd rather someone tell me how they really feel about something. At least I know I'm around someone that's real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's ironic that you said that. Don't you think a certain percentage of that is politics?
What do you mean? Like,
That's what their job is to do.
Yeah, but see, that's a
tell
thing.
you what you want to hear.
But that's why I say as a group.
That's why I don't get super in my feels about it either. Some changes might come that benefit me or benefit those that need it, and a lot of them changes might not never happen or come. Why I'm gonna get in my feelings and fuck up a friendship because of views? It's a politician's job to get up there and to a degree pander a lot.
Yeah, and look how that has happened. Look how that has benefited the average, the middle class, the middle class citizen. Like, you gotta work. Yeah, you gotta work hard. You gotta make better decisions, and you gotta have opportunities to get to another income bracket. That's all factual. But when it comes to people telling you things to make you comfortable, as if they really care, and they haven't done anything. We gotta look at people's track record. You gotta do your research. Forget what the media, what anybody's feeding you. What I say, you say, anybody say. If you really passionate about it, you want to go into an argument, you want to go debate. That means you should be coming up with some factual stuff. Come with some facts, and the other person should come with some facts, and we'll talk about it. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, we have fun lighting each other up all the time.
Oh yeah, all the time.
We get to ask each other one fun question about politics. All right, and then we're going to keep it pushing.
What's that again?
Me and you get to ask each other one fun question about politics.
You got to start it off because I'm in the
Mine's very simple. Do you think you should be able to run for candidacy with pending felony charges?
Yes.
Why?
Because pending felony charges, I mean, first of all, I don't trust the criminal system like that. There's a lot of people that got charges that were acquitted and a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm like, I don't really trust the criminal system.
Don't you think it should be like that in the military, government jobs then? The same thing?
I do. Yeah, I agree.
It's not.
Well, yeah, it should be.
It's broken.
It is broken.
So,
it is. Damn, you threw me off guard with this question.
We fighting at the end of this, y'all. We about to prove we did all that talking. I'm bullshitting. That was my only question.
Damn, well, I don't know. Good question. Oh man, fudge. Okay. Do you think that a candidate should be put in place to run for president without people voting for them?
Without people voting for them.
So, yeah, if the American people did not vote for a candidate to actually be the nominee, they voted for someone else. Do you think that the government has the right, or that party has the right to choose a person to be the nominee?
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody should have a right to have a ballot. Like I would have one. You would have a right. Anybody.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you get what I mean? So
yeah.
The government should choose for who should go run for president versus the people voting for the person.
You saying to vote to replace somebody? Vote to replace?
Like, perfect example. Whatever. I don't give a damn no more. Hey, shout out Kamala. Do your thing.
I mean,
right?
They know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Bro.
Do you feel like that was a good thing? That when
I'm
Joe
not
Biden
gonna say if it was a good thing or a bad thing, but I understand why it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's his vice president, so she's obviously gonna replace him. She's the next person up, so I think she should have a right to go. I think anybody should have a right to go. It's not a voting system at that point. It's whoever they feel is qualified to replace that person, and if they feel like she's qualified to replace, let's see what happens.
Well, interesting.
What else? Who else?
I mean,
we supposed to collect votes on who should go.
I mean, that's how they vote for when Joe Biden. She did go to run for president, and she didn't get votes to run for president. So
how would they have selected who then? What you saying? The process we should vote who replaces the person running?
Yeah, I think so. I think we should vote for who's the nominee for president. So you could think she's good for, like, the president chooses who they have as the vice president. So yeah, that was his choice for vice president.
So it would only make sense for her to run if he's not going to be capable of running.
No,
Why not?
because that's not how it works.
How does it work?
The people, American people, are supposed to vote for who.
And when
who's the
has that
nominee.
happened in these circumstances?
It's always happened. Like for example, Trump, Biden, Barack. The American
So there
people
was
voted
a time
for
where
them.
a president stepped down. You saying?
No,
And
that has never happened yet.
this just happened.
This the
He
first
stopped
time-
running because of health reasons.
I know.
So you and I both know, and the rest of the world knew who was up next to run.
No,
You didn't. So it shocked you that she was running next.
it shocked me that it did shock me that they would just automatically put her and not have the American people vote for who should be the nominee for the
So you
Democratic
just think.
Party.
So you just think she came out of nowhere and it was automatic. It didn't make
It's
sense.
not, no, it shouldn't be automatic. I'm saying that we don't. I'm saying that the American people are supposed to choose who they feel like should be president.
It was Biden in place.
Yeah.
He stopped because of health conditions. He had a running mate. It was Kamala
No,
Harris.
he didn't have. Yeah, he had a vice president. It's
Kamala
different.
Harris.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it only makes sense for her to step in when he has health issues or health conditions. We're not going to vote who replaces him to run.
No, I can understand if the term, like, let's say he's sick, he got sick, and or something happened to him, God forbid, and okay, she's the next up to be president for the rest of his term.
This is
but
what
to
I'm-
get a whole nother 4 years, to get 4 years as president, the American people should be like, this is who we want or we trust is going to be a good president for 4 years.
Was there a time, because I don't know, was there a time where a president stopped during the running election, and then we voted in who took that person's place?
No, there's never been a time where a president that was running, somebody that was running for president got sick or something happened to them. That hasn't happened. This is the first time that has happened, right? But the way the process is that the American people vote for who they want to be the nominee for that party to be
That has happened
president.
before. We voted who replaced
Yeah,
him?
no,
Yeah.
no, not replaced.
So this is a unique situation.
It is a unique situation.
She was his running mate. So if Donald Trump stopped running and got sick, who would replace him?
If that, same thing. If Donald Trump,
Who would
we would have to vote. We should vote.
But we know who would replace him.
No,
though.
but it's not about who would. We get to choose who.
I don't
would.
think there should be a voting process. She's already a part of his. I'm gonna go urban with it. She's already a part of his camp. She's already a part of his team. She's his running mate. So when he steps down, that's part of the running mate's responsibility.
Yeah,
just
but-
as if he was elected in office.
But see, that's what I'm saying. The president chooses who's their vice president. We don't choose who's their vice president.
that's fine.
So okay, that's fine. That's cool for vice president. Now for the president, the person that's gonna make most of the decisions, right? The person that's gonna be representing America, whatever. The American people are supposed to choose who that person is, and the president, that person gets
We're
to
in
choose.
the process of it right now.
No, that's not. No, we're not in the process. The process.
Are you saying she shouldn't have been able to step in and take his place to run for presidency because we didn't vote for her to do so?
Yeah, we should have the. We should. I think America's. We should.
But that's
have been able
never
to vote,
happened.
because this is a new situation.
So just so I'm clear, and then I'm good.
Yeah.
It don't make sense to you that she took his place because
It don't make sense that America didn't get to. It didn't make sense to me.
So basically, you saying we should have a system where we vote who takes the president's place if they step down in the running.
Yeah, for running for 4 years of new presidency.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's my
That's
opinion.
fine. That makes no sense to me. I don't agree with that.
I mean, we can have different opinions about that.
I don't think anybody was shocked that she stepped in.
I'm
to take his
not gonna
place.
say I'm shocked because the way that it was already meant to. People was already saying this before Biden got sick. There was like, Biden's gonna get sick and they're gonna put Kamala Harris in there. People were already saying that.
I'm perfectly fine with how it went down.
I
It doesn't
I
make
think
sense.
it takes rights away from the Americans. At the end of the day, it's about
But you still get to vote.
no.
No, but does it take away your right to vote?
Yes, it takes away your right to vote who represents your party.
I mean,
If you felt like there was a better candidate,
I genuinely believe you arguing in bad faith because it's
No.
not even your party.
how do you know that?
Because I know we talk
That's
all
not
the
true.
time.
That's not true. I
We
don't have a
talk all
party.
the
I don't have a
time.
party.
I'm just saying.
But listen.
I've never heard. To me, this is where I'm getting lost.
Mm-hmm.
You saying we had Biden running, right?
Okay.
He got sick. You saying everything should have stopped, right?
yeah.
And we should have voted who replaces him to run.
Yes.
I mean,
Because,
let
for
me know-
example,
let me know
if
what
there's
y'all think. Let me
Democrats
know-
out there.
let me know
for
what y'all
Democrats
think.
out there. Okay. Did you feel like, I wonder if they felt like there was a better candidate to run for president that was a Democrat? If you felt like if you felt like, hey, okay, you got Kamala Harris because they gave you Kamala Harris. They gave you don't have no choice. They saying this is who's going to run for president. You didn't have a choice in that. But there are a whole bunch of other Democrat candidates. And if you felt like, hey, damn, Biden isn't in there, you know what? I want to vote for this person that's a Democrat
That's mad
candidate.
wild. I'm going to tell you why.
Why?
That's because they're already a party together. They're a unit. They come as one.
No.
So, yeah, they do. Everybody knew this already. That's how people wasn't shocked. That's like having a 2-on-2 match and then a person, like a 2-on-2 wrestling match, right? You know who's there, and one of the people go down permanently and the other person get tagged in. You want to stop everything and tag in a completely new person.
I mean, I talked to a lot of other Democrats, and some of them told me that.
I think that sounds crazy.
They was like, damn, I wish I would have got, I wish we'd have had the chance to vote because I would have voted for this person because this person actually does better on making bigger decisions versus.
So it doesn't make sense to you that Biden was already president, Kamala was vice president to him, right?
He chose the vice president.
He chose her, right? He runs again, completely falls apart. It doesn't make sense to you that she steps in to represent that party and run?
No, because he was not. No, listen. I'll tell you why. He was nominated as the candidate to run.
Right.
For president. We're not talking about vice president. The president chooses who their vice president is.
Time out.
The people choose who the president is.
Time out. Wasn't he already coming out of office?
What do you mean?
He was our previous president.
Yes. So.
And who was his vice president?
Kamala.
He running again.
Yeah. No. America chose him as the nominee.
So when you choose him,
yes, when you
time
choose
out. When you choose him, you choosing his vice president.
Fine. But vice president.
You're right to not be taken
vice
away.
president and president is different.
It's not computing to me. I don't think it ever will.
Hey, maybe not. But yeah. But
I definitely want to know. I definitely want to know what y'all think about that because I don't get it. It just makes perfect sense to me.
No, like I said, the American people choose who's the president, and the president chooses who's their team, their vice president, their cabinet. If that president is in there anymore, Americans should have the opportunity to choose who they want to be president. And Kamala Harris was not nominated to be president.
Say he was still running in office and he got sick. Will we be able to choose who goes next? Or
what do you mean? I mean, if he got sick
and then Kamala took over?
If he won and he became president again?
Yeah. No, he was already president. He already won. She was his vice president. He falls down. Can't do it. He dies. Who takes his place?
Yes, the vice president.
Right, which was her. She already was in that position. It don't make sense to you that she would take his place running? We should vote who should take his place running? That's what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So y'all heard it here. The Mass Social presents the Dirty Laundry Podcast. As you can see, we can talk about this shit all day. Yeah. It's one of those topics where you can go back and forth. It's very interesting.
We have different opinions about it.
Don't end no friendship or no relationships over politics. If it makes you that uncomfortable, talk about something else. Talk about something simple. Talk about a reality show or something. Or watch our shit and we'll keep you entertained. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We hitting the streets on Friday, baby, because this is gonna kick up a lot of fuss, especially in Austin.
Definitely. I mean, we're going to see what people saying. You know, on Dirty, people be in the moment. So
I think a lot of people, you know what I find interesting? I might wear a Donald Trump wig for this interview.
Oh, you about to get murdered.
But no, I just want to have fun. But I think a lot of people are going to be quick to say, yes, they want to take this interview and hoop and holler and yell out why. And I think a lot of people, I'm going to guess, would say they would throw a friendship or a relationship away in a heartbeat.
I think so.
About political views because it's very emotional. So
I think so.
I appreciate y'all for checking out the live. If you didn't, it's definitely gonna be up this coming Monday. Y'all go check out some of our videos. Some of them are lighthearted and fun, and some of them are some serious topics. We want to know y'all opinions.
Yeah,
it's all love.
And we're not responsible for what people say. Okay, don't be like, oh y'all. Look, all we do is ask questions, put the mic there, and how they respond is how they respond. This is a freedom of speech. You let people say what they want to say. I can't ruin this
friendship. It's the only friend I got left since I started this podcast. Don't nobody fuck with me no more.
Yeah, I don't really rock. I don't want nobody. I'm good.
Y'all know what it is. It's the Mass Social.
Holla at y'all.